That's in Memphis, actually.
It's in Memphis.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's where you were?
Yeah.
I see.
Memphis,
okay.
the capital of ancient Egypt.
Right. Yeah, you're bringing what?
Perhaps that's where our new god will come from.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Yeah, I wish that was funny.
With artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know all those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, he's sure he can control the demon.
If you haven't noticed by now, anyone who is popular or considered an elite either covers one eye or does the OK symbol. This symbol is how they show their allegiance. First, the symbol is the symbol of the beast. The number it creates is 666. But also, more importantly, it makes the number 23, the fallen number of the letter Cain, the symbol of pharmakeia. This is the left eye to the letter Ayin and is called the evil eye. Many cultures had beliefs about the evil eye. As you can see here, many had amulets and such pagan paraphernalia to cover them from the evil eye, which is said, and I quote, cultures often believing that receiving the evil eye would cause misfortune or injury, while others believe it to be a kind of supernatural force that casts or reflects a malevolent glaze back upon those who wish harm upon others, especially innocents. Also notice in this slide that the OK symbol was used to cast the evil eye upon others as a curse. Hence the reason they do these symbols, one, to show their allegiance, and to curse others who do not. The symbol of OK was thought of by the Germans to mean Oberstkommandant. This compound word starts with Oberst, which means chief, and then Kommandant, which means commander. Now, who do they call chief commander?
Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I made a bargain with it, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my end.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And on this earth, and then in a world we can't see.
The 23rd letter is Cain, which is the fallen letter. This letter is the left eye to Ayin, the evil eye, and we have seen that the evil eye was projected by witchcraft with the OK hand gesture. This also coincides with the devil horns in this slide that was used as a witchcraft symbol to ward off the evil eye. The letter Cain is the first letter in the word AI, as we have seen in the Septuagint's use of the letter gamma in the word AI. The symbol of the serpent, who is the tree, the evil eye, the letter 23. The network of AI. What if I said that AI is okay and that they want you to be okay? Sounds crazy, right? But let me explain. If you go to the book of Yahusha, who they call Joshua, chapter 7, verse 2, on the Blue Letter Bible app, you can cross-reference this book to the LXX or Septuagint. The word for AI is spelled Gamma Alpha Iota. This word, as we have seen, means the earth and the false goddess who gave birth to the python serpent. However, if you translate this word today, it means okay. So when you do this symbol, knowingly or unknowingly, you are giving the symbol of AI. So when I said they want you to be okay, this is like many phrases in English that are designed to program you for the future that they have in store for you, like the merger of man with AI, hence the phrase, you're going to be okay. They mock man, but also they tell what they are planning for man right to our faces. Until you are on the outside, you won't see it. In this video, I will give countless examples of their mocking and show their plan in detail. But contrary to their plan is the beautiful plan of redemption for you if you seek Yahuwah with all your heart, soul, and mind. And I believe that is why Yahusha added mind in Luke 10:27, and he answered and said, "You shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your strength, and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself." Notice the word mind was added to this command that varies from the original command found in Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 5, "And you shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, with all your being, and with all your might." Mind was added from this command in Luke. And I believe this is a clue to the end, and that the final battle is a battle for mind control. It isn't a coincidence that both Baal and Asherah come from the word mind. Notice the word Baal, spelled Bet Lamed, Strong's 1078, is Baal of the Babylonians. Same spelling. Bet Lamed means mind or heart. Asherah, which is the Phoenician goddess of love and increase, comes from the word Asherah. Ashtaroth means increase, comes from the word Ashath, which means to think. You have the mind and to think. For the battle is for your mind. That is what the old images show, is the eye in the sky, reading your thoughts. When mankind is given the mark, they become part of a system. This digital system will be a false new Jerusalem. The mark will give a person a digital ID. This ID will make them into a node on the network. If you're unfamiliar with the word node, the dictionary shows this word to mean a point at which lines or pathways intersect or branch, like branches on a tree. In this case, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. As you can see in these slides, the tree is ancient, and their plan to merge mankind into this tree is ancient. The tree is a symbol of the network at the top. At the top is the overseer of the network. When you are in a node, now look at this image right here. You see this figure in the sky flying above a tree that has a network around it. Now this is a tree in other images, as in this image right here. Same depiction, but it is a tree. Now, the tree represents a network. So first you look at what's in the middle of it is like a torch. This is lit up. The tree is lit up. This is a symbol of enlightenment. All right, this is what people seek when they get enrolled into the system of AI. They seek to be enlightened, and they eat from this tree. Now, if you notice, in this, you would have a node, a network, and a manager that is above that. Now, what you also need to know here too is these figures right here are wearing fish suits. I know this sounds weird, but I call Christmas Fishmas, and that's why I call it this. The souls are trapped in this network node, and these demons are wearing the skin suits of the people that they took possession of. This is about demonic possession. It goes all the way back to Eve eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and I'll get into that here shortly. Now, when you are a node in the network, it's just like a computer in a network. It can share in all of the resources and benefits of the network, but this network is always governed by an entity. This entity can not only read everything that is on the computer in that network, but it also can take control of that computer. They call their network the Great Reset. The word reset is Hebrew Strong 7568, which means a network, a trap for man, and leaders leading people to sin. Their network is a part of what they call the agenda 2030, which is the number 23 when you take away the zeros. This plan is to place man into the network, a new form of digital slavery.
You just dream big. We're bringing it back. This will be America's new golden age.
So what is this all about? The golden age, AI, and the all-seeing eye? Well, it is about demonic possession. It is about taking the tent of man through levy. Levy, by definition, is to impose or collect by legal authority, to acquire by authority. It also has the meaning of enlisting for military service, like a draft. To tie all this together, let's first look at the demonic possession of the man in the tombs. Then we will return to the Golden Age and to what I call Fishmas, and the reason why. When Yahushua entered the land of the Gergesenes and was met by the man with the unclean spirit, he asked the demons what their names were, and this is what they said. Luke 8:30, and Yahushua asked him, saying, "What is your name?" And he said, "Legion," because many demons had entered into him. If you look at the etymology of the word legion, it shows us that the root of this word is ligari, which means to pick out, select, or choose. Like in Genesis 6, where it says, "And it came to be, when men began to increase on the face of the earth, and daughters were born of them, that the sons of Elohim saw the daughters of men, that they were good, and they took wives for themselves of all whom they chose." Notice, they took all whom they chose. The word legion, as in Roman legion, took soldiers by levy. As we've seen earlier, the word levy means to impose or collect by legal authority. This is how Satan's clause works. By Eve eating of the serpent unknowingly, she became part of the serpent. The word used is Ai Ramam, which we have seen means Ai exalted, but also in the plural of being a type of people, in this case being one with the beast. Even the word legion has the same root word as the word intelligence, as in artificial intelligence, and also means legal. Their plan always is to use Yahweh's law against you. Psalm 94:20, "Will the throne of destruction which devises trouble by law be joined with you? They band together against the life of the righteous and declare innocent blood wrong." To understand what is coming, we can look at the Messiah's words to give us clues. Many of the miracles that he performed, including casting out demons, like he did in the land of the Gergesenes. The man was powerful, breaking chains and living amongst the tombs. No one went there for fear of him. Imagine millions of people with this type of power under control of the beast. Messiah told us this would happen right before his return to rule. Matthew 12:28. "But if I cast out demons by the Spirit of Elohim, then the reign of Elohim has come upon you." Notice that there will be casting out of demons when the reign has come upon you. Then he goes on to say, "Or how is one able to enter a strong man's house and plunder his goods unless he first binds the strong man, and then he shall plunder his house? The house of man is his body." Now, notice in this passage, he says, lest he bind the man first. The word for bind is 12:10, dio. This word means to be in bond, to tie in binding, be a prisoner, to pledge to give oneself in marriage, to be imprisoned, put in chains. The White House has launched a program called the Genesis Mission. this goes along with the golden age, and I'll show you how they both tie together and how they tie into artificial intelligence. To understand this, let's go back to Genesis, since they're talking about Genesis here. What happened with Eve and what was the result of it? Eve bore 2 children. That's what it says here. And she bare his son Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep. So Abel was a shepherd, right? He is like the people who follow the way. If you read, and his brother was a tiller of the ground, but it says his brother was of the evil one, as it says right here in Yochanan Aleph, 1 John 3, verse 12. Not as Cain, who was of the wicked one, possessed with evil, and killed his brother. And why did he kill him? Because his works were wicked, but his brothers were righteous. Now, let's go back. So it says here, Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. The word for tiller that they always translate here is abad, like in the word abaddon. Abad in Hebrew means a servant, a slave, like as we've seen earlier where the Messiah said that you first must bind the strong man. So this is to be bound, to be in bondage, right? To be in chains. So he was a slave to the ground. Adama, the ground. Now if you look at the LXX down here, you'll see that Cain was a servant of this word, Gia, which is jinn, which comes from the root word of gi, which we've seen AI is the ground, as in Gay Hanom. He was a servant of Gay Hanom, right? Servant of the ground. Now, if you look at Cain's name means possession. In other words, he was possessed by the Spirit. Now, we know in possession there's a thing called possession amnesia. It's when someone is demonically possessed and they are either exorcised and the demons cast out. They have no recollection of what they did. It's what they call a program multiple. They show this in Hollywood. I'm not going to get into that now, but they did it with the Winter Soldier, who just so happens to be named Bucky Barnes, whose name just so happens to coincide with the Buckminster fluorine that we talked about in other videos, and he did not know who he was, and it's just another mocking in our face. Now let's go back to Cain. So what happened so Cain was a tiller of the ground. It goes on. It says that Cain didn't get respected by his offering, that he thought he should get respected for what he did, but we've seen in John what he did was not good. And so goes on, and it says that Cain rose up and killed his brother, right? Now what happens next is Yahuwah says to Cain, "Where is thy brother?" And he said, "I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?" Going back, possession amnesia. Was he telling the truth? It never says that he lied. Now, how does this tie into all of this? The golden age in Genesis. We just seen what Genesis says. All right, to understand the golden age, let's go back to what the Messiah said. But if I cast out demons by the spirit of Elohim, then the reign of Elohim has come upon you. The word in this passage for demon is daimonian. Right here. If I cast out demons, daimonian, by the spirit of Elohim, then you know that the reign of the Elohim is upon you. Now let's take this word right here. Search for that. It's a demon, right? Same thing as daemon right here. That's a fallen angel. or a demon, a spirit. Now go to demon right here. Demon. These are demons right here. Now, demons were possibly seen as the souls of men of the golden age. Going on down. The people of the golden age were transformed into demons by the will of the false deity Zeus. Okay, so why do I call Christmas Fishmas? Christmas acronym is Xmas. Notice this reef right here. We'll come back to that. First, the letter X origin is from the Phoenician letter Samak, which we know means thorn, but also means fish. Fishmas. Now, going back to that, look at this. See the reef? AI, Hebrew Strong's 80 or 58, 56 means a reef. Xmas, Fishmas. Xmas means a mass of fish. The meaning of fish is soul. As when the Messiah told us, "Follow me and I shall make you fishers of men," the word fish means soul. Xmas means a soul mass. The Xmas or Fishmas tree has always been a work of mockery. They want you to celebrate your own destruction and laugh at you because they believe that you will never figure it out, or if you do, it will be too late. To prove that this is a work of mockery, let's read Yirmiyahu chapter 10. This study will show how they mock mankind with this festival. Yirmiyahu, Jeremiah 10, verse 2. Thus says Yahweh, do not learn the way of the nations, and do not be awed by the signs of the heavens, for the nations are awed by them. Now, so if you look up this tree, it's always associated with stars, and even the deities associated with it are considered planets. And we'll get into that later in this video. Notice in this, you have the stars in the sky. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 reindeer things over here. Just like during this time of the year, they have the 8 reindeer. And you have the tree now. The tree always looked different in different depictions. You see, in different depictions, you'll see different trees. It always has this little mount that holds it up. You can see the deities here. There's always the man in the sky, the eye in the sky. You see all this? See the little thing holding the tree up? The deities in it. Now, let's go back. For the laws of these... Wait, let's go back. Do not learn the way of the nations. And the word nations in this passage is Hagoyim, the Gentiles. So Goyim are nations, people, or Gentiles. So typically a Goyim is a nation or people other than Israel. Now, when Yahuwah's kingdom comes to the earth, that kingdom will be called the New Jerusalem, and the citizens of that kingdom will be called Israel. So if you're not a part of Israel, you're not a part of that kingdom. Many churches will say, we're the Gentile believers. Like, Gentiles are people that are not other than Israel. They always say, that's for the Jews, that's not for us. That's what the Romans used to say. Now, Gentile means a pagan. If you Google the word Gentile, it's a pagan relating to people other from what they call other than the people of Yahweh, as you just seen. Let's go back to Jeremiah. For the laws of these people are worthless, for one cuts a tree from the forest, the work of the hands of a craftsman with a cutting tool. They cut the tree down, they beautify it with silver and gold, then they strengthen it with nails and hammers. They used to nail the wood on it in an X shape. Think about that, Xmas, right? And that shape would hold the tree to keep it from falling over. They're like rounded posts. They do not speak. They have to be carried because they do not walk. Do not be afraid of them, for they do no evil, nor is it in them to do any good. There is none like you, O Yahuwah. You are great, and great is your name in might. Who would not fear you, O sovereign of the nations? For this is your due, for among all the wise men of the nations and their reigns there is none like you. They are both brutish and foolish, and instruction of worthlessness is the tree. Now it goes on to talk about them making this tree, this idol. The tree is an idol. Silver is beaten into plates. It's brought from Tarshish, and gold of Uphaz, the work of a craftsman in the hands of the smith. Draped in blue and purple, all of them are work of skilled ones. Now, they mock with these trees. Okay, now I'll go into that in just a minute. But the whole process of putting up the tree is worship. That's what he's telling you. Do not learn the way of the nations. Do not put this tree up in your house. It is an abomination. And it goes on down and says, say to them this, Allah that did not make the heavens and the earth shall perish from the earth and from under the heavens. He has made the earth by his power. He has established the world by his wisdom and has stretched out the heavens by his understanding. When he makes his voice heard, there is a roaring of waters in the oceans, and he makes vapors rise from the ends of the earth. Lightning for rain he has made, and brings wind from his treasury. Now, going back to talking about them. Everyone is brutish in knowledge. Every smith, the people that are making these trees, is put to shame by his idol, the tree, for his mold and image is falsehood, and there's no spirit in them, no Christmas spirit. They are worthless, a work of mockery. This is them demons mocking mankind. Mocking mankind with it. Hebrew Strong 6196, chestnut. Rumoon comes from Strong's 6197. That means crafty, shrewd, make shrewd, very cunning. Like the serpent in the garden was a room. He was more crafty and subtle than any of the beasts in the garden. They both come from the same root word, 6191. Aram, to be crafty. Same word as Eve. They were made naked. Same word, root word that chestnuts have. Chestnuts roasting in the open fire. All those who were made naked without Yahuwah's protection will be thrown into the fire. This is what they want. This is what this is about. They even mock us and tell us in their movies what their plan is.
No, not Santa Claus the person, Santa Claus the Claus.
What?
Look, you're a businessman, right?
Yeah.
Okay. A clause, as in the last line of a contract. You got the card?
Yeah.
Okay, look. The Santa Claus. In putting on the suit and entering the sleigh, the wearer waives any and all rights to any previous identity, real or implied, and fully accepts the duties and responsibilities of Santa Claus and purpose.
They're telling you that when you take the mark, you will be under the control of Santa Claus. Just like in the old days, there was a ruler over the tree. And in the same movie, they tell you who that ruler is and who Santa is. And they laugh because when you eat from the tree, you become part of the serpent. And what does his claws say? It says he sees you when you're sleeping, and he knows when you're awake, and he knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. This is just like AI, reading your thoughts, knowing whether you have been a good or bad citizen or not. This is the social credit score that they have now. They even introduced this in China, and it's coming to America, but it's coming way different than most people think. It comes in the form of mind reading, which AI is doing right as we speak. Santa Claus. You put the technology in you, You become one with the tree, and now he has access to all your thoughts. You see, the lights wrapped around the modern tree. This is a symbol of enlightenment that men seek in AI, the intelligence that they were not born with, lured in with the idea of super intelligence. The tree is always an evergreen tree. This is a symbol of eternity, a tree that does not rot and never drops its leaves. Everlasting life that they want to achieve with this technology. But the tree is cut off and is in a small bowl of water. For this plan of eternity does not have the flowing water of Yahweh's word that gives true life. The tree had to be held up. The tree in the ancient depictions has a stand, just as they do today. And they have to be carried, for these false gods need a power source of earth to exist. The Father of creation does not need external power. He is power. The tree, just like the ancient tree, has an angel on top, a fallen angel masquerading as an angel of light. This is the evil one who controls the tree. The balls on the tree used to be pine cones that represent the pineal gland, the mind's eye, the seat of man's consciousness that they want to control with this plan, to get man to agree to their clause that separates man from Yahweh, just as the serpent did Eve. Deuteronomy 16:21 says, "Do not plant for yourself as an image, a wooden image, an Asherah, or any tree near the altar of Yahweh your Elohim, which you build for yourself." Asherah, Strong's 842, was a goddess. The tree was always a female, an Asherah. Now, an Asherah, female, was a sacred tree, motherhood. It's a mother deity, a mother goddess, what they call mother goddess, holy lady. All right. Notice she's always depicted as trees. All right. The tree that people put up in their house. It's an Astarte figure. All right. And it had a tree, and they had bodies which resemble tree trunks. In other words, the woman was mixed with the tree. She was becoming part of the tree. Now, if you go to Astarte, which is the same word we were looking at here, Astarte, Asherah, or Astarte. So Astarte, right here, her Greek equivalent is Aphrodite. Aphrodite was married to Hephaestus. Hephaestus. He was the false god of weapons and manufacturing industry. He was the god of artificial intelligence. See what I'm saying here? Hephaestus. Artificial intelligence. Thousands of years before machine learning and self-driving cars, you had this Hephaestus making autonoma, artificial intelligence. So you can go through and you can see one of these. He was a deity that made AI. So the tree, which is the Asherah tree, is the wife of AI, the adulterous woman. Like Eve, she was made naked. Eve was made naked after she ate and merged with the tree. Just like all of the deities that you see, Asherah, Aphrodite, who is Venus, they're always associated with being naked. Their covering been taken away. These deities are called the Queen of Heaven. That's Astarte, who we just seen, Asherah, which is the tree. We've seen that it's the tree. all right, is the Queen of Heaven. And we're going to talk about that in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 7, here in a few minutes, about them pouring out drink offerings that they do during this time of year. Jeremiah 7. The children are gathering wood, the fathers are lighting the fire, and the women are kneading their dough to make cakes for the sovereignty of the heavens, the tree, and to pour out drink offerings to other mighty ones to provoke me. Now, in this passage, the word that's always translated as wood, there are verses where it translates it correctly. This word right here, etzim, means trees. 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 This word can mean wood, but most of the time it means trees. And go back and change that. The sons are gathering trees. Now, if you go to this word gather, gather also means to pick up or to pick out. They're picking out trees. Kind of like a Christmas tree farm. And there actually is a Christmas tree farm in the book of Isaiah, and we're going to get into that in just a second. Now, the women are kneading the dough to make cakes for the queens of heaven. Now, what kind of cakes do they make, cookies do they make during Christmas? They make cookies in the shape of a tree, the Asherah, and the shape of stars, which is the queen of heaven. She's always either a star or she is a tree. Ishtar. Astarte. And then they pour out drink offerings. Cookies and milk. These are small cakes. A sacrificial wafer. A cookie. Cookies and milk. Milk is a symbol of fertility, just as these deities were fertility goddesses, false goddesses. Now, the Christmas tree farm that we just talked about in Yirmiyahu is in Isaiah. Yeshayahu, Isaiah 44:14. He cuts down cedars for himself and takes cypress and oak, which he raised among the trees of the forest. He has planted the pine, and the rain nourishes it. The Christmas tree farm. Raising the tree to make idol. Jeremiah 3:9. And it came to be through her frivolous whoring that she devoured the land and committed adultery with stones and wood. Now that word wood again is trees. You can look that up in the interlinear, the same word, etz. Yeshayahu, Isaiah 40:19. The workman molds a graven image, the goldsmith overspreads it with gold, and the silversmith casts silver chains.
Silver and gold, silver and gold. Everyone wishes for silver and gold.
All right, so who is Santa Claus? As we've seen before, it was Satan, and they even showed it in the movie. But if you go to Santa Claus and go down, you'll see they had a Center Claus, and we'll get that in a minute. But the Germanic people celebrate a midwinter called Yule. All right, you've heard of Yuletide, and they sing that during Christmas. Frequently attested as being led by the god Odin or Woden, bearing among many names, meaning Yule Man or Longbeard. Then the character Santa Claus, all right, the character Santa Claus is one of the sources of the popular Christmas icon Santa Claus. Originally, Santa Claus rode on a white horse, and the horse was named Amerigo. And where does that word come from? Amerigo is America. It means home ruler. Basically saying, back then, that America would be the center of all of this.
Incredible genius. Without question, the most brilliant place anywhere on earth. America is the country that started the AI race. And as President of the United States, I'm here today to declare that America is going to win it. We're going to work hard. We're going to win it.
When you look at Santa Claus, you go down, you'll see that Santa Claus draws parallels between Santa Claus and the Norse mythology god Woden, who is Odin, the one-eyed deity. That's why they cover an eye, one eye. Now, who is Odin? You can trace who Odin is by going through Vulcan. Remember Vulcan? His Greek equivalent is Hephaestus. Hephaestus was married to Aphrodite, who we've seen is mankind trapped into the serpent, because she traces back to Asherah. Now, she goes back to the Roman Venus. Venus goes back to Friday, or the day of Frigg. Frigg, the wife of Odin. Frigg and Odin. Santa. All sources portray her as the wife of Odin. AI. Now we're going to go to Isaiah and tie this together. Isaiah 46:1. Baal bows down and stoops. Nebo were their idols on the beasts and cattle. Your carriage were heavy burden. Now who is Nebo? Nebo is actually his name, Nabu. If you look up Nabu, who is Odin. And we're in this is the earliest depiction of them. Riding the dragon, both of them. Nabu, Marduk, Zeus, and Odin. Riding the serpent, Ashtaroth. See the same symbol here. The network that they create, the symbol on top, which changes. Right here, look up Marduk. You're going to find Marduk with that same serpent with the two horns that we've already talked about. You have a serpent and you have two deities in this passage. And the serpent is a tree in any other passage. Ashtaroth. Marduk. Taking of the consciousness, putting it into the network of AI. In Isaiah 46, we see Baal and Nabu. Now, earlier in the chapter, it talked about the tree. Several chapters that talked about the tree, which we know is Asherah. So Baal's consort always in the scriptures is Asherah. She's his wife or consort, which we've seen. Aphrodite is Hephaestus' wife, and he is the quote-unquote false god of AI. Now, Baal, you have Baal and Nabu. So Baal is Marduk. It even shows you here that Baal was especially used for the Babylonian god Marduk, who we just seen, who rides the serpent. They both have a serpent. The serpent gives them power. That's AI to give them the power. And they both, Baal and Nabu, are in the tree. They're actually right here, the ones with the wings, taking the consciousness out of man, placing it in the network that they've created, and has a controller over that network. In the network, common network tree topology, you have the main router controlling, just as you do the controller on top, controlling all the nodes in the network. This is what they have planned, to put mankind in this, to become one with it, as it says in Revelation, and they become of one mind, and they give their reign and power to the beast. Now you can see the different types. You can even see their symbols, their star symbols in some of these network symbols. Stars, trees. Now going back to the golden age, the souls of men of the golden age are demons. Alright? The people of the golden age were transformed into demons by the will of Zeus. Who is Zeus? Zeus is the Greek equivalent of Marduk, who we just seen earlier. Greek equivalent is Zeus. Marduk uses the serpent, right? And as we've seen, Santa is actually Odin. And who is Odin? He is the leader of the possessed. He is the controller of the network. But it's all demonic. It's in the cloak of, oh, you're going to be super intelligent. You're going to be indwelled, is what they're really saying. Once you merge with this technology, the demons can come in and possess you. Woden, the leader of the possessed. Here's a commercial of them mocking you with this.
Welcome to the news at 11, where we'll be chatting to the Minister for Artificial Intelligence.
Notice they just said the Minister of Artificial Intelligence. So they're telling you right there what this is about.
About recent accusations that he's not real.
Just don't get it anymore.
Now this person just came under control of this. This is what they want. Demons enter in and control you.
In light of recent events, it begs the...
Now a fox always represents something clever, cunning, like the serpent. Notice the checkerboard floor.
Question. What?
Now notice a man marries AI partner. Okay? Mankind marrying AI, becoming one with it.
Can we even believe in anymore?
Now notice this guy right here takes off his headphones and then he becomes possessed, showing that it is some type of signal in the airwaves that was being blocked when he had his headphones on, but when he took them off, he become one of them. And noticing how everybody here has become possessed and are completely under control. I'm going to fast forward it up to when they all get together at the end. You see they're all moving in sync together. Now here's the end. All mankind. Now notice what's in the middle. Not a chicken. Notice, this is what they all are gathering around, is a rooster. Odin, as we talked about earlier, Odin. Now what's the rooster have to do with Odin? Odin, or day of Wonaz, is Wednesday, the day of Mercury. Mercury's symbol is the rooster. See, they're telling you in the movies, in the commercials, Mocking is what they do. They mock us. Mercury, holding the staff that has a serpent wrapped around it. His symbol is the rooster. Right? Wednesday, which we've seen Woden's day. You can see Woden with his one eye right here, carrying that same staff in his hand, who is none other than Hermes, which supposedly is a deity of intelligence and wisdom, which is AI, which comes from the Egyptian Thoth. Right? Thoth is thought to be the wisdom deity. And the emerald tablets, those tablets, like the tablets people carry around nowadays. But Thoth is always imaged as a monkey. This is Thoth in a museum. And Thoth is holding the center of the brain, the amygdala, the pineal gland. Right here, pineal gland. Thoth holding the pineal gland. Mind control. All-seeing eye, seeing inside of your thoughts. When they breach your thoughts, the demons can come in. The demons, who are fallen messengers or stars, come through the gate. In other words, a stargate. Stargate. Like in America, we have this huge Stargate thing going on, these projects going on. See the symbolism here? You have the all-seeing eye of the triangle, led by Trump, the Stargate. It is a bridge to allow them to come across so that they can come in and take possession. And they mock in commercials. I'm going to show you another one. Twins, like Gemini. You have two minds, one inside of another. I see myself in you. Possession.